Hello, folks. Today I'm going to touch interesting subject. I have observed looking in different grimoires and different works of Icelandic nature, of Icelandic origin, or manuscripts of different sorcerers, and looking also at the African tradition. I have observed a resemblance, for example, when they are using, for example, the fetish doll. Okay, well, voodoo practitioners use a fetish doll, and the Icelandic sorcerers used staves that resemble the object of their attention magically, either a ship. In Gardabrok, there, for example, there is a spell how to sink a ship of the enemy. For example, there is a spell on this regard. How it was used, it remains a mystery. There are, for example, hypotheses. There are certain uh, resemblances between the traditions. And also, when I presented some staves to a person, in fact, this happened many times. I presented staves from the runic tradition to voodoo practitioners, and they always said that they resemble the veve, or some symbols of magical nature from their tradition. Uh, Also, interesting enough, voodoo absorbed in time a Christian element. So we are speaking here about a tradition of ancient nature also that tends to absorb other practices, or other systems. For example, the Nordic tradition has absorbed Christian names and practices also. The voodoo tradition also has absorbed Christian elements too. There are certain saints that some voodoo priests work with still in the today's world. Okay, but that cannot be said for the runic tradition too much. But there are some runic practices of a more hidden nature, not so accessible to the large public at all times. Um, uh, there are runic practices that integrate some Christian elements to them. By this, I do not really mean, for example, the use of the cross, because the cross is a universal symbol, but it is extensively used in voodoo and in the runic tradition also. Another resemblance, so we have the resemblance of fetish dolls and fetish staves. In the runic tradition, we do not use fetish dolls. We could use, I could use a fetish doll and work with it with the runes, but we have staves for this. Okay, so we have staves or magical symbols that resemble the target of our magical attention. Also, the runes themselves, if you look at them, they resemble something from nature. They can resemble branches. They can resemble animals. They resemble a person walking forward, or a bird, or a dragon type bird figure. They resemble a meal. They have, they are many, they resemble a star, or they resemble a spear. So there are, the runic symbols are pointing towards a reality existing in nature. The other sacred alphabets do not do this. The runic alphabet is the only alphabet of magical nature, of operative magic, that for sure resembles things in the nature world, in the world of nature. Okay? So this is the idea. Very, very interesting. So we can there are resemblances between the voodoo practices and the runic practices. For example, the possession. The priests in the voodoo practices practice ritualic possession by their gods. We also in the Nordic practices practice ritualic possession by our own gods to achieve certain states of knowledge, of insight, or ecstatic trance. Okay, so look, already so many resemblances, symbolic resemblance, understanding, interesting understanding of things. I have seen, for example, voodoo priests who were in deep ecstatic trance, and they embodied that god and they behaved like that spirit 100%. You know, they even embody the powers of that spirit. On the other hand, we also see practitioners from the Nordic path who, for example, had rituals of possession with the gods. Someone dared to be possessed, for example, by Loki and had some insights in this direction. So it's very interesting. These two traditions are not borrowing from each other, but it's interesting how they evolved at times in the same manner. So this I find very interesting for sure. Are there books on the market that really can guide you through this type of knowledge? Yes, there are a few books, but my my understanding leads me to advise people, okay, to first build up their own spiritual path, to walk a spiritual path for some months and years before they approach practices of this nature, that they can be largely misunderstood by the commoner or by the profane. I call someone a profane or someone from the world, someone who basically has their mind closed. Okay, for example, someone who thinks that only matter exists and only the body exists. In my humble opinion, that person is a profane. Someone who is fully aware of the existence of a reality permeating the reality of matter, in my humble opinion, that person is an initiate. So this is the difference. For example, every spiritual path has its way in, the ways of testing and the ways of entrance. From what I have learned, or from what I have understood, the path to enter through voodoo practice, it's quite lengthy, and it has many testings, and it has a lot of meat to it. You know, you cannot call yourself a voodoo priest overnight. You need to train, you need to practice, you need to be very there with all your being, basically, and it requires 24 out of 24 hours commitment to it. This is how I approach also the runic tradition. It's a tradition in which you are 100% there. It doesn't leave you. It's not a commitment of partial nature. If you practice an occult path, you commit to it 100%. Your life is in the hands of that spiritual path. So to make a reiteration between voodoo practices and runic practices, at one point they both borrowed from the Christian path certain aspects. Both have fetishes. For example, in voodoo, you learn how to build up a fetish doll to channel your magic. In the runic tradition, you learn how to build up a fetish stave to channel your magic. What I can say about the runic tradition is that it offers you a lot of freedom to play with your witchcraft. It offers you a lot of freedom in this regard. There are thousands of staves with different purposes. in the voodoo tradition that I'm not initiated into it, I have also seen many staves that resemble many veve, they are called vivi or veve, that resemble runic staves. Okay, so there are these resemblances between traditions. Also, the ritualic possession happening in the voodoo religion and magic, that is also happening in the Nordic path or Nordic tradition. I'm not sure that the Nordic path did not borrow this from the voodoo path, because the Nordic path, it is a reconstructionist path, and I'm not sure that the Nordic tradition did not borrow from the voodoo one when it came to ritual possession by the gods or spirits. Okay, but this is something universal, because also in Hinduism we have ritual possession. I have seen a priest of Kali in a temple of Kali who was fully possessed a few times per year. He was fully possessed by Kali, and he behaved like Kali, and he acted like Kali, and he thought and said things like Kali, and did things much in the same manner, which was frightening a bit for the audience or for the public there. So I believe every occult path has these landmarks. Okay, but like I said, these things are mainly for the initiate person, for a person who really is into it 100%. I mean, you do not treat your spiritual path like an accessory. You are your spiritual path. You live it 100%. You are it 24 hours. Even in your sleep, you're not something else but your spiritual path. So this kind of dedication and this kind of commitment is required to pierce the veil of mysteries in every spiritual path. Yeah. So I continue to explore different parallelisms between different magical practices and the runic tradition. Okay. For example, right now I am studying this is a bit weird, but I must tell you, I'm studying bridges of connection, or how can you approach Enochian magic using the runes, or is this thing even possible? There is an angle that you can touch. There is an angle of approach of a more subtle nature that you can really work with this, but like I said, it's not safe. So the moment in which occultism starts, in the moment in which true occultism starts, it's the moment in which things are not anymore safe for you. When you put your life on the line, when you put your mental balance in the line, everything that you did until that point of initiation was safe. True magic, by its nature, it cannot be safe. If you do the right things, if you have the proper respect, and this is how I understand voodoo works also, because if you really are into initiating yourself into voodoo, for example, there will come a point very fast in voodoo in which things will not be safe. Okay, so growth comes with challenge, and challenge doesn't mean 100% safe, guys. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you have any question, if you have anything to say about the interesting topic at hand, feel free to ask. If I can provide an answer, I will, guys. So yeah, the topic of today is comparative occultism between voodoo, the runes, and not only this, but there are, like I said, comparative practices like this. And it's important for me. For example, I had largely access to tantric magic, and I have seen how tantric magic works, and I have seen also how runic magic works. I have also a big respect for other traditions, like voodoo, for example. It's a very powerful tradition. European witchcraft, folkish witchcraft, is also a very powerful practice. So exploring these common elements between the practices offers me more insight on my own spiritual practice with the runes, basically. So yeah, if you have anything to add or ask, or if you have any questions. This is the moment to state them. And also, true adepts and true initiates are pretty, let's say, not really jealous with their knowledge. They guard it with jealousy, but they do not throw diamonds at the swine. This is the idea. And sometimes I forget that in my interaction with the world, my interaction with the profane world, sometimes I forget that I interact with profane people that do not have this level of awareness. And they take things to granted. If you give someone too much attention, they will think they own you or something. So yes, as an initiate, as a practitioner of the path, it's good to keep a safe distance from people who would harm themselves disrespecting you. Let's hear the questions. Hi, can you elaborate on Black Tantra, or is there such a thing? Actually, this is a subject that I wanted to message you privately. Yes, I can elaborate on it. Any kind of dark magic in Hinduism. Okay, I can elaborate on it. Yes. Okay. For example, all the powers, this is how I see Tantra, okay? Or Black Tantra. All the powers were given to the masters by Brahma, or all the powers were given by the divine to people for the people to conserve dharma or moral law or universal balance. When dharma is corrupted, when dharma gets corrupted, sometimes Black Tantra can be employed, but only then. Okay? If an idiot wants things of a very egoistic nature and comes in the tantric tradition with very egoistic desires, he will hurt himself trying to practice dark magic. So there are rituals and rites of dark magic in Hinduism, very powerful ones, but they are put to good use. You understand? This is the idea. So yeah, they seem dark, but they are put to good use. For example, let me give you an example. Someone comes to defile a temple. If someone comes to defile a temple, bear no mistake. Bear no mistake. Hello, Richard, Albert. So bear no mistake. That person will get it. And how it will get it? Well, the priest of the temple must know also some dark rites also. How do we know it has been used on us? Well, there are tantras and tantras. There are techniques and techniques. Usually, you ask a divination system about it. So if dark or black magic was used against you, a normal occultist, your normal occultist around the block, will look into the tarot, or will look into the runes. And for this, you must have proper training. Because if you think you were the target of such a thing, if you think you are the target of such a thing, but do not have experience with divination and try to use it, it won't work. The divination will lie to you because you do not have training. So basically, rarely you can know it was cast on you, actually. There are symptoms, though. There are symptoms. The first symptom of someone suffering from black magic is that they manifest obsessions. If you have obsessive thoughts or feelings, they can be also rooted into such a thing. So there are symptoms. Okay, but the majority of the cases that came towards me with, oh, I think black magic was done on me, usually they need psychotherapy. Okay, this doesn't mean I discard the real cases, but trust me, I know. When I see a real case, I know. And sometimes, and in the recent years, from what I have observed, the majority of persons that they were the target of dark magic, they deserved it and they do not know it. They have done something wrong. They did not understood their own actions, and basically the divine permitted for that punishment to happen in that person's life. So sometimes you also do very wrong things, you are not aware of them, and you deserve that karma, basically. You understand? So it's a very complex image here, Soul Rebel. You understand? It's very complex, the image here. It's not easy. If you have other questions on this regard, if you want to go more specific about it, we can surely reach to it. And also, you guys, if you have other type of questions, I most gladly will. I definitely okay. OCD thoughts. What do you mean? Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by OCD thoughts. This is not for you to know. Usually people suffering from different emotional disturbances, and they have a mixture of spirituality in their disturbances too. They tend to give a fault to a past life, not to their present mistakes. Obsessive compulsive thoughts. Yes. Yes. My note that my language is not English, my main language. Okay, so I'm speaking here. English is a secondary language to me. I speak it rather well, but yeah. Well, if you have obsessive compulsive thoughts, have you been to a therapist? Because even if you are, and even if you were a target of black magic, even if you were, let's say by absurd, even if you were, okay, still going to a therapy will mitigate those effects. So even if it's not black magic, still the top priority is to visit a therapist. Because many persons, let me explain to you, in modern world, so many persons suffer from this, and they are too ashamed and too primitive to understand that they need help. You know? So this is the idea. And by the way, people, yes, in therapy, it's much better, but still, well, you need to work more. You need to work more. And because you have OCD, you need to stay away from occultism, my friend. Okay? Until this problem of OCD is resolved, major advice, stay away from occultism. Well, I'm all about therapy also, and it definitely helps. And also, until this issue is resolved, stay away from occultism totally. You can do simple meditations, you can do simple techniques, simple sacred gymnastics, asanas, qigong. Yeah, this you can do, but do not get close ever to magic. Until you heal. Until you heal. Until you heal from OCD. If you have healed from OCD and a few weeks or months pass with healing, you can then approach more in-depth spiritual aspects, but under the guidance of someone experienced. Okay? People in today's world think they are so smart, and they ignore the importance of a teacher in their lives. And at the same time, I understand them because there are many fake teachers out there. But it's very important to have a teacher. Yeah. But there are spells, for example, there are spells in Tantrism and in all sorts of occult traditions of magic. There are spells to cause insanity in someone. Okay? There are hundreds of spells of this nature. But that person will never suspect it was you. It's very hard to prove such a thing. Better not even address it. Just work on healing. You never know who did it, or yeah, there are ways to find out. You know. Yes, I have a history of a bad one, so that's why I'm asking. Yeah, you know, so there are also unbindings that can be done, you know. So there are spells to counter spells that provoke insanity or obsession. Okay. So there are magical works to combat this. But still, therapy is the main tool. Because through therapy, you undo whatever harm was done to you. I'm not saying that you are the subject of this. I'm saying that things like this exist, just not so often. But thank you very much for sharing this with us, and I hope this is a good example. So see, folks, Soul Rebel has some issues. He's same person because he has chosen to go to therapy, and there are persons, Soul Rebel, who are afraid to go to therapy. They are afraid to not be judged in society. Okay, but it's a proof of sanity, it's a proof of mental health if you have done these steps. Good for you, by the way. Good for you. Yeah, with much pleasure, my friend. And stuff like this are hard to detect, guys. It requires, so for someone to be able to detect who did what spell on someone else, you need an expert. Okay, you need an expert to look there very well. You need not someone who throws around different subjects and stuff. Richard Albert. I have just recently started to study Little Neat occultism and magic. Any advice on books or practices? Previously, I have done only meditation and yoga. Yeah, sure. I can only recommend to you to read Franz Bardon, Initiation into Hermetism. So Franz Bardon, Initiation into Hermetism, it's a good start. It's a very good start. It's a very good start. Franz Bardon, also Israel Regardier, The Middle Pillar Ritual. It's a very good start also. So Israel Regardier, author, Middle Pillar Ritual. Franz Bardon, Initiation into Hermetism. Papiu, Initiation into Great Kabbalah. René Guénon, about initiation. He has some very good papers on this. You know, so I could go on and on and on. It depends what tradition of magic are you attracted to, Richard? What tradition of magic specifically? I do not do services to check or remove. I can check or remove if I feel like it. Okay? But services, I do not trust people enough to offer them my services with this one. You understand what I mean? If I would ever offer my services to check or remove, I would have to trust that person a lot. And experience of life has taught me that not many persons deserve your trust so fast, you know. So for me, trust is everything. So Richard Albert, back to you. What tradition are you attracted to? And also, guys, if you have other questions regarding what was said so far and the topic, please feel free to interact and state a question. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, exactly. Because I know what I'm talking about, I don't put myself on the line so fast. You understand? A true sorcerer will not sell himself like this, you know. Yeah, you should not trust persons because in the world of occultism, there are many hyenas, you know. I have met my share of hyenas in spirituality, new age, and occultism alike. But for example, if you continue with therapy, you continue and continue and continue and practice also some forms of meditation, and these things will be mitigated. Okay, and you must also learn to protect yourself spiritually. Soul rebel, come on, it's not that hard. Okay, you must just learn to strengthen your psychic defense. Coupled with therapy, should be a breeze. You are doing well. If you were the target of something, you are not the target of something that bad. Okay, because you still arrive to therapy. There are cases in which they go directly to the sanatory, you know. So you did very good so far. You did very good so far. Therapy, you did not trust the wrong persons, you asked the correct questions. So far you did very good. Good job, Soul Rebel. Keep in touch, you know. I love helping people who struggle for with real efforts to reach a level of spirituality, of normality back in their lives, you know. So you are at the correct place here. I have just read Lord of the Left Hand Path and a few books from Jason Miller. I'm completely new to occultism, so I don't have any specific tradition in my mind. I'm Scandinavian, if that matters. It matters. It matters. Have you ever are you attracted to the Nordic tradition? Also, if you are completely new to occultism, aha, Well, if you're attracted to the Nordic tradition, practice it, man. Approach it, okay? Hear the calling, go for it. If you're attracted to the Nordic tradition, you may as well not go to the Hermetism of Franz Bardon, and you may as well not go to the magic of Israel Regardier. You know, go to the authors. For example, the books of Stephen Thorson are pretty good for starters. You know, for the beginners, for starters. He has some pretty good books on ritual magic, so I recommend them. You know, Stephen Thorson, go for it. Why not? I also have written a few unpublished books. I will publish probably my first published book this year on Nordic occultism. So go for it. Stephen Thorson, go for it. Stephen Thorson even has a very good manual of magic. It's an old book. He published it long ago, I believe, called The Handbook of Magic. You know, Futark, Handbook of Magic. It's very good for the beginners. That book is really good to start with. And also, like I said to our friend here, okay, if you approach occultism, you must approach it from the correct angle. Okay, what is the assumption that you work from? I will repeat this again. Our soul contains the body, not the body contains the soul. Our soul contains the body. Our spirit contains the mind, not the mind contains our spirit. Okay, so we need to work at the correct assumptions. Since 14 years age. 14. When I was 14, I got my first initiation into Kundalini Yoga. So now, right now, I'm 35 years old. 16 years. So like 16 years, I believe. I'm still a young guy, but 16 years with different spiritual paths. Eastern Tantric magic, Kabbalah, chaos magic for some years, Nordic magic also for many years now. So yes, I do have experience on the path. I'm not only studying, I'm practicing. Like I said previously in the video, it matters a lot to devote yourself fully to the path. It matters a lot. This is very important, very important. In my waking seconds, I do not have a single moment or a single second outside of my path. Not possible. Okay. By the way, I have made recently, even today, I made a live stream, but it's private now. But yesterday or 2 days before, I think, I have made a stream with psychic abilities demonstrated at the camera with 2 willing subjects. Okay? Because there are some people who believe that we are all about the body. And I have shown in the video that I'm not only about the body. I have shown that what I can do, it cannot be known or done with the physical body. And the information that I can extract from a certain person or situation cannot be known with physical objects like that, and at the camera, and with strangers. Okay, so there are people who highly doubt the existence of the soul, and I laugh because I live with this reality 24 hours. But I forget, you know, when you live with the spiritual reality all of your life, and you encounter someone who does not have the opening, or many persons who do not have the opening, and they do not look at the world through the eyes of their soul, for me it's baffling. For me it's a shock to see that people believe that they are only the body. For me it's a shock. I cannot I cannot. At one point I even came to say, oh my god, man, it's incredible how people are like this, because I was raised in a certain way since I was a child, you know. And when you are raised in a spiritual manner since you were the child, and I had mentors since I was 14 years old, you start to develop some conclusions, you start to develop some spiritual perceptions, and at one point you make the mistake to think that everyone is like you know. And when I hear people denying the existence of the soul in today's world, I say, man, I will pay you a visit in your sleep to see what's up with your soul, you know. It really annoys me. And also, if they are, for example, if they are offered the possibility to experience things beyond the body, you know, there is in the Nordic tradition a dwarf called Andvari. And this dwarf called Andvari is a spiritual entity who makes sure that you do not transcend matter. It's his job. I understand it. You know, some spirits need to stay here. Some spirits really need to, some entities, some people need to stay here in the matter. You know, they have stuff to do here. They have concrete jobs to do here. And there is this entity, dwarf, in the Nordic tradition called the dwarf Andvari. All right? And this dwarf makes sure that you don't cross the bridge. And there are people fully possessed or fully under the influence of Andvari. And they behave like matter is the ultimate reality. If you show them a miracle to their face, they will think you did a magic illusion or trick, you know. I have actually seen this. So I'm the type of guy who, if I state something, I will show you right away. If a word comes out of my mouth, I have the deeds, the facts, and the arguments to show it right away. Okay? I do not make stupid claims about myself that I cannot prove. Can I levitate? No, I cannot levitate. Okay? Can someone levitate? If they work for months and years and years and years at that city, and they have a master to initiate them in those secrets, at one point, maybe one student out of 100 could do this, you know. But there are certain psychic abilities and powers more easy to access than others, you know. Anyway, folks, if you have anything to to say, or if you want to address any question, feel free to address it now. I do daily ritual and meditation 2 times per day, between 2 and 4 hours per day of practice. Meditation is the bread and butter of spiritual practice. If someone skips a day of meditation, in my eyes, they are not serious. So not only regular meditation, but I'm very adamant of practicing meditation, gymnastics, and ritual every day. I advocate for hardcore training. If someone trains with me, they will need to do hardcore efforts. So if someone becomes my student, they will have to work hard. Very good. Very good. Very good. Richard Albert. Well, this shows, honestly, this shows that you are prepared to engage further on. And if you feel attracted by the Nordic occultism, go for it. Someone like you who meditates 1 hour per day for the last 4 or 5 years, you should not have a problem with engaging occultism. Okay? So you are new to occultism, but you are not new to spirituality. And you know, in your practice, you have already encountered occult aspects. You are not really new to occultism. You will see. You will see that you are not new to occultism. With this type of practice for this time, you have already encountered occult elements. I'm pretty sure about it. And maybe that's why you are also drawn to more official forms of occultism. And if you are Scandinavian, well, what can I say? You should embrace the path of your ancestors. Okay, runesters, runes. You should you should ask advice from your deceased, from your ancestors, and you should ask guidance from your ancestors. I do not advocate the practice of such things, and they corrupt the spiritual being of the person. I have a very bad opinion about the usage of chemicals, because our mind is so strong. Our mind can command matter. A trained mind of an occultist, a trained adept occultist, can command matter, can have access to any state when he wants to. These things are an insult to the spirit. You see, these things are an insult to the spirit, because the spirit is non-material, and you want to reach the spirit using material things. They cause illusions of spirit. They do not give you the real experience of the spirit. They only cause placebo experiences or placebo experiences. So my opinion on uses like this, a person who uses this can think of themselves to be whatever, a pink unicorn, godly elephant or something. They are very damaging to the spirit. For example, I have some rules. If I know that someone is taking shit like this, they will never become my students, or they must be clean of shit like this for at least a year before I can accept them as someone who learns from me. You know? Because think of this. you are using chemicals to reach higher states of spirituality. The spirit permeates the matter. If I tell you from what assumptions I work from, they will be unbelievable to you right now. And someone who is stating to you things. So for example, I'm stating things to you that I know you'll understand. But if I would go ahead and state outrageous big claims just to shock your mind and attract upon me your admiration, that's bullshit. Okay? It's not okay like this. You are on your own path to your own growing individual power. That's it. Okay? If I choose to teach someone, I will also grow in my fame as a teacher. But because that someone that I teach has reached powerful results in their lives, and as an occultist too, So I'm oriented, I'm result oriented. And I'm a very pragmatical dude. If I speak about a certain type of energy, of course I can also manifest it, and of course I can also show it to the public. Well, this is done like this is done like this has this effect if you go with at it like this and stuff like this. Okay, but there are also things in occultism, in inner order teachings, for example, that are hard to understand by outer order persons, and even more harder to understand by persons who believe that they are only the body and who believe that they are only matter, guys. Not even the materialists. The materialists do not know what is matter, honestly. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you have anything to add or if you have any question, please feel free to address it right now. Do you practice occultism in an everyday regular stuff? For example, in a job? What do you mean? Hey, Nelson! Welcome, welcome. I choose to not answer to your question. Yeah, this question is very private. Yeah, it's very interesting, Nelson. The replay, it's very, very interesting from the beginning to now. The discussion escalated to more interesting things as it came through. And also today I wanted to make, but I did not have enough people online. I wanted to make some testings today with different willing subjects, intuitive readings. Usually people come to me for intuitive readings, but I said, well, since I have a YouTube channel and people need to melt a bit their doubts about things like this, I would be open to make more experiments to the camera. So I'm open at any time if someone requests to do an intuitive reading with them on the camera. I will insert it in the title, by the way, because I had some people recently in the last months who were very skeptical about psychic powers, and I have shown them this is the idea. It's okay to melt doubts. I encourage skepticism, I encourage critical thinking, but too much of too much is too much. There are also things beyond our mind. Just getting home. I don't have anything to add, but I will definitely watch from the beginning. Yeah. You're always welcome, man. Yes, 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 yes. I had a live, but not too many persons online. You know, look, for example, right now there are a few of you guys. We can attempt to do a small attempt at an intuitive reading if you want. Yeah, the intuitive, the psychic tests I have done yesterday. No, 2 days ago, I believe. Anyway, it's the last live I did. So yes, if you guys want, we can also do 1 or 2 testings today. If someone from the public, from the audience, wants to have an intuitive reading from me for free, just express your opinion, express your interest. Okay. This is an exception. Usually people come to me for this. But since I want this channel to contain live proof, you know, and I do have here on this channel some videos with me working with energy, practicing some elemental control at camera, you know, or in the nature, but it was filmed. Yeah, if you catch me live, if you catch me live, we could do a intuitive reading session if you want, for sure. Okay. Ah, by the way, Nelson, you have a YouTube channel. All right, guys. So this guy has a YouTube channel with video games too. Okay. And if you guys are do love to play video games from now and then, maybe visit his YouTube channel also. I also like to play video games now and then. You know, it's not a sin. Okay. I have watched your stream on. It was very funny. The stream on that medieval game. No, no, the Napoleon battles. You know, your stream on Hold Fast. It was called the game Hold Fast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was very very nice. Yeah. So like I said, we can do an intuitive reading. The intuitive reading will contain a scan of your body, memory scan, will contain possibly remote view. It depends how well I am connected with you. It can happen. A remote view can happen naturally during the process of scanning. And also, it can contain, if I feel further on connected with you, it can contain a tarot reading in which you do not ask me the question publicly. You just keep your question in your mind, and I will try to answer it without knowing the question. Okay. So these 4 things I can show in public. Thank you for the shout out. Haha, I have to go while my dog. All right. So I must leave. Yes, 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 yes. I love discussing my game with people interested. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, of course. Entertainment is part of life. Okay, guys. Do not neglect the entertainment in your lives. It's part of who we are also. Okay. Being always serious about everything means that you have a problem in your head, man. We must learn to entertain ourselves. Okay, guys. So, are there anyone willing from the persons present here in the live to have a intuitive reading from me today? If you have other questions or anything to add, please feel free to add your question or if you have a specific topic, for example. Also, guys, readings are usually kept for private, you know, but if I see things that are very private about your life, I will keep them for myself. I will only state things that can be made public. Because I had cases. So I know how to make a difference, let's say, in this regard. So nobody has any more questions or anything to add in the constructive sense? Oh, you. Ah. Okay, let me give a link to my to one of my friends here. Wait. Someone wants to join also our session. Yeah, we can do Soul Rebel. We can do an intuitive reading with you, okay? If you want. In fact, you wanted from 2 days ago, correct? Soul Rebel, are you there? All right, all right, all right. Okay, tell me your first name, the small name, not the family name, just the first name. It will help. Hello, Robert. Hey, hey, hey. Who's in the house? Who's in the house? Hello, hello. Ha ha ha. Oh, man. By the way, Robert, check all my videos when you have time, okay? Especially the last videos I made. Of course, I know who you are. No mistake, sir. No mistake. All right. Ah, okay. Then tell me your first letter, initial, just the first letter of your first name. It's okay. Your first letter from the name. Initial, just the first letter. Good, it's enough, okay? Okay, now remain relaxed. So Soul Rebel, okay? Remain relaxed. Remain relaxed. Get your hands and feet at a distance, okay? Get your hands and feet at a distance and remain relaxed, okay? Do not be tense. Let it happen. I'm not an invasive person, okay? I'm very gentle. When I look at someone, I'm very gentle with my energy, okay? So try to remain relaxed, please. I will state everything I feel for the scanning, then you can give me your feedback, okay? But only after the scanning is over, I will say the scanning is over, give me the feedback, okay? But for now, remain relaxed, please. I do feel a state of fear and anxiety in you, you know, that is rooted around the heart area, but this is common for your situation. You have an excess of energy. You can get very emotional very fast. And this has an impact on your glands, especially here at the throat. I sense this instability. It's interesting what I feel around you. Even if you said you had that problem, either someone prayed for you or you asked someone to help you with energy work, but someone did try to protect you. I don't know if it's recent, but the effect is still there. So someone did try to protect you. So you do have like a protective field a bit around your aura. It can be strengthened, but still I feel the presence of a prayer there. I feel the presence of some kind of a work done at the extremity of your aura. So you are not totally unprotected, okay? If you asked for help or not, I'm not sure about this, but for sure someone did something for you. I'm pretty sure of it. And also I sense a blockage in your lower right part abdominal area between the genitals, or between the genitals and the abdomen. There is a blockage there. If it's physical or if it's of energetic nature, it could be both, you know. And also another thought that came to me about your belly, about your stomach, is either or not you could you had issues with parasites in the stomach. Not really bad, but there was this issue. You need to do more movement. Yeah, I'm feeling like your body is stagnating. You need to do more movement. Your body is asking for it. It's too, the muscles on the bones are sitting. They need to be detensed. They need to be more relaxed. You have hidden clusters of tension in the body, too many of them. And it's like your energy is stuck in different parts of the body because of the lack of movement, of proper movement. And this will also improve your mental health, the proper movement. And you have like an unexplained fear from time to time. I don't know if those are panic attacks, but there is an unexplained fear in you that visits you. And this is troublesome. This you need to resolve this also. You need to address this also, like you did with the rest of them. And also you have a very feminine energy to you. You have a very gentle and feminine energy. So you, based on your sensitivity, you overreact to situations, and that overreaction damages you internally, emotionally, energetically, and physically. I do see here that you have a very good intuition, and you are a person of reason, but emotions get the best of you. You have a good intuition, you have a good reason, but emotions, uncontrolled emotions, are sabotaging you, you know, and they are affecting your health. And I do feel in you a troublesome relationship with the father also, or somehow on the line of your connection with the father there was a broken segment. Something wrong happened in your connection with the father that has led to this sense of insecurity that you feel, you know, and this is obvious also from your energy. Anyway, I will go more in depth, but let's hear your feedback. And if the connection was established, we can go more in depth with you, Soul. So let's hear for your feedback, and then we can continue. If you have not fallen asleep. Sometimes my energy can do this to people. They fall asleep during my scans. Or they tend to go like this a bit in one way or the other. Okay, until Soul Rebel gives us the feedback. Ireșvian, are you still here, man? You know, we have spoken in HBL, we have spoken about Kabbalah, by the way, here on the live chat. So if you're interested to study about Solomonic magic or Solomonic spirituality, well, I can give you a few tips in this regard. Okay, if others have anything to add, if you have any other questions, guys. Soul Rebel, hello. Did you fall asleep? Yes. Well, I said everything was exact. Okay. Okay. We have some lag here on the chat. On point. Okay, I took note. There is lag, chat. Yes. Yes, I did say parasites in your stomach. Yes. But you know what's funny? You could have them and your organism dealt with them, but still see if they are there. Do have a lot of fear. Exactly. I can help you in a friendly way to escape that, to transmute that fear. I'm all ears. Okay. Too emotional, and it does negatively affect me, and I do need more movement. Body is stiff for not enough. Yes, I know. I felt it. And you have, because of this, your kidneys can also be affected a bit, you know. And about the prayer protection, I think that might be me. Maybe I have tried to do it myself. Yes, you have around your aura. So the first thing that I have seen, okay, yes, you may want to check on those again. Okay, you had them. I felt them in your stomach, but you know, those things have a habit to return. Maybe they don't. Okay, yes, but they have a habit to return. You know, that's the idea. I know how those things are. It's not something serious. Yeah, and back to the protection. You know, the first thing that I have seen when I have looked at you, I was surprised. It was a light on the extremities of your aura. You know, like a light at the ending of it. I have not felt the light penetrating more deeper into the aura, but still something you did works. You know, I have seen it. Okay. Miss my dad, he's deceased, and that's what I felt. I didn't want to go into more details, but if you mentioned it, yeah. I know how that feels about the parasites, but regarding your dad, you should do also healing on this aspect, you know, because come on, guys, let's face it. When we lose someone, we lose a part of ourselves. You know, you cannot say, oh, I healed completely from that wound. No, man, some wounds are there to stay. Okay, let's not be hypocrites. And you are pretty intuitive, that's for sure. Yeah, by the way, Soul Rebel, thank you. Yeah, the protection, yes, that worked. You need to do more, but you need to go more in depth. For me to advise you on what type of protection for you to do, we will need to speak in private. Some conversations are for private only. Soul Rebel, thank you for offering yourself for us to do a public intuitive reading. I usually never do this, but I have chosen to do a display of psychic abilities because people have been too much in doubt. You know, people must learn that in the world there are also people like me. Okay? And I'm not doing claims here. For me, this stuff is natural. As you see your own hands, that's how natural this stuff is for me. But this is about training, guys. Yes, that's what I felt. Yes. So basically, congratulations to you that you go to therapy. It was the best blessing that you gave to yourself. It will get better and you will heal. You will see. Yes. Thank you. You also, what you did here, you were very courageous to let me scan you. You were very courageous. Congratulations. Okay. Some people, when they feel me scanning them a bit, they freak out. And you have seen, I'm gentle. All right. Okay. So thank you also for having the courage, because this intuitive reading sets an example for people who doubt such abilities. Let's come back at Richard. Magic song. What you meant by proper movement? I do a lot of sports, but do you have any specific movement you recommend for energy work? Well, if you will study Nordic occultism, there is stada yoga, or runic stadas. So I recommend to you to do runic stadas after you start to learn about runes. Okay? So your movement must be attuned to the culture or occult path that you want to embrace. And happily to say that the runes provide a lot of physical stamina also. So yes, Richard, this is what I meant. Yes, therapy is really helping me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yes. I'm so happy when I see people so courageous like you, who have a lot of issues, but still they hold on strong. They stand their ground and they push forward. Congratulations to you too also. Yeah, and for you, Ireshviel, the best place to start in studying Hermetism, and if you really want to learn, Ireshviel, about Solomonic magic, first read Kybalion, for example. Okay, it's a good book. It's a good book for starters, Ireshviel. I mean, if you would go straight at the Solomonic magic, you won't understand shit because you don't have a background. But if you go step by step through Hermetism, if you have an understanding about what is Hermetism, you will understand better, Ireshviel. By the way, guys, I will do here a big disclosure. Ireshviel, it's one of my friends that I play video games with in my leisure time. Okay? Hermetism, Ireshviel, Hermetism. So we play video games together. And like I said, it's no shame to entertain yourself, okay? Hermetism. I will write to you the name of the book. Who cares? Who cares, Ireshviel? Well, look, before you go, before you arrived, I had here a guy who has a video channel. He's interested in spirituality a lot. He's a very smart guy, interested in spirituality, but has his own YouTube channel of games, of video games, you know? These things are not in denial of each other. These are just mere entertainment, guys. And if you have a very busy, a very active life, a very stressful, full of responsibilities life, and if you do not entertain yourself with anything, why why are you living for? Every person, in my humble opinion, should have a form of entertainment, if it's not an exaggeration, and if it comes hand in hand with their spiritual practice also. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so if you have any questions, or something to add, feel free to do so. So far today we had a long talk of a philosophical and esoteric comparative study dialogue. We had a live testing of psychic abilities with Soul Rebel as our willing subject. Thank you again, Soul Rebel. And we have here a question from our friend. Do you have any source with proper translation for English with this book of yours? My book? I also have my books, but yes. Kibalion. Do you mean my book? My book is not really accessible right now. I have 3 books. One of them will be published this year. The rest of them, I don't know. I have arrived to the conclusion that not all should know everything. Sometimes you must learn to earn your knowledge, But you will find there are some very good Kibalion books in English. My books, you mean? Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago, with my first book, I was a bit. I had a tendency to be a bit more generous, But I soon realized that only certain people should learn certain things. I realized this soon. Yeah, this is the idea. But if someone is pure in their heart, if they have a good morality, if they have a good verticality, then yes, I would say that learning and practicing from my books is safe. But if someone has a doubtful morality, or they cannot control their emotions, to practice from my books is dangerous, highly dangerous. That's the idea. It's like you want to work at an electric panel without being an engineer, okay? Without being an electrician. I will try this Kibalion. We'll turn soon with questions to you. Yay! No worries. Of course, I would love to see your feedback on that book. I would really love to have feedback, Sirejviel, from you personally on that book, honestly. You are a great soul, and I really enjoy having fun with you, to be honest, okay? Okay, do you have links to your books? Not at the moment. As soon as I will publish the book this year, I will perhaps give a link to it. Okay? So soon, incoming. Not at the moment, no. They will be there. Okay? Maybe this year. I will announce them, okay? But until then, so Richard, still practice from manuals of runic magic, because if you will want to learn my books, you will find them much more easier to understand if you already have read a few books on the Nordic magic. My books are more for the people who already have experience a bit with the Nordic system or Nordic magic. My first book is in fact for beginners, but not really. It burns very fast through the beginner stage. All right. I'm going tomorrow to my bookstore and buy this book. I am kind of interested. Yep. I saw many adaptations of King Solomon that I got interested how it was in originals. Yes. Well, Solomonic magic, Irishviel, or Solomonic approach or Kabbalistic approach. Let's call it like this, okay? Solomonic approach or Kabbalistic approach, they are synonyms, okay? So learning about Hermetism from that book will help you understand Kabbalah way better, okay? Since you are at the start with this. So keep in mind, guys, there are also persons who are just beginning their research, okay? I will check what you recommend. Yeah. Check what I recommended previously. Stephen Thorson is a great author. It's a great scholar, especially for people who want to enter the path of the runes. He is a good source. Also, Wells with the Armanian runes is also a good author to start with. Okay, there are in fact many authors to start with, but let's say the most known ones, you will find later on that they are not perfect, but that's not the point right now. Right now you need to integrate the basic information. Okay, guys, so we already go into a live of 1 hour and a half right now. Thank you everyone for being here. You have been amazing. All right, and I will be doing more live streams like this in this format. I will also do once in a while at every live stream live intuitive reading for a willing subject. We can also do more advanced testings, guys. Okay, what I did so far is just let's say something that can be shown to the public, but there are also testings of psychic abilities that are more advanced. I'm willing to cooperate and show them to you in public, but for this I need serious people that are really curious about knowledge of this kind. Okay, anyway, so I'm doing this for the mutual of oh, hello Arctic Sun. Well, what can I say? You have a long 1 hour and a half to look at. We began with discussions, a comparison between voodoo and the runes. Then little by little people came into the chat, okay, and little by little we escalated to more spiritual discussions, and also little by little I also started to do live intuitive readings for one of our friends here, for Soul Rebel. So this Arctic Sun, I have done an intuitive reading for him, the last video I was on. You guys know each other, huh? Richard and Arctic. All right. Yes. I'm finishing pretty soon. We already gone into 1 hour and a half so far. All right, guys. So have a nice day. Blessings of the gods upon you. Hail our ancestors and hail the divine in our souls specifically. Okay. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. Have a nice day, guys.